All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Adebayo Katiiti. My pronouns are he, him, they, them, Mwamisebo. I identify as a Black trans person and tuning in here from Edmonton, 26 territory. So my presentation today is about Black joy, but it's kind of gonna be interactive as well as it is I'm going to also at my point like share my story and my experience. I mean, before I even go in, if you're attending, just, think about some of the things that you think are joyful and you think gives you joy, like in your own identity. When we proceed at some point, we will kind of answer those questions, but then just post that in the chats, like some of the things that make you happy. Now, I'm not sure if you are familiar with trans, but every trans person have their own um, uh, explanation to their identity. It might not match what the society is putting out there or what the school is teaching, how they became transgender or when they realized they're transgender or yeah, so it will have to be a one-on-one with that specific trans person for them to tell you when they realize they're transgender. So for my case, I believe I was born transgender, but I did not have a term to who I really was, but I knew I was different. Um, and and knowing the day I knew my identity, this is when, joy started to unfold. So I work with an organization called Radical Now. I'm the founder of this organization. And most of it, we work with LGBTQ refugees, but also mainly at the center, we center experiences and needs of Black trans people. Why? Because we believe this community has been marginalized and disproportionately represented in, all aspects of life. So who is Adebayo? Adebayo wears many hats, but today I'm coming to you without any hat, just as myself, just as Adebayo, a trans person who is living his life joyfully and authentically transgender. I was born and raised in Uganda, but I left Uganda in 2016 to come here for the swimming competition. Back home in Uganda, I think I got to know about the term transgender when I was at the university. So there is lack of resources, of course, and there is a stigma when it comes to LGBTQ people. I don't know if you have been seeing the news, but they're tabling another homosexual bill in Uganda, which is actually gonna be hard on not only LGBTQ people, but the entire community and the entire society as well, the entire country. Being transgender to me equals to joy. Having the resources for you to be yourself, then that is more joy. I will say tranquility. You need to look up tranquility, and then if you don't really, know about it, but that is the whole aspect of my existence as a transgender person. Coming to Canada, started a new life, decided to start my medical transitioning, and here I am today. Yes, so we all deserve a welcoming and loving world, whether you are trans, whether you are Black trans person, whether you identify as cis, whether you are a white trans person or person of color. We are all deserving of a welcoming and a loving world. So wherever you are, you deserve to have that love. And when you have that love, when you're welcomed, you know, everything starts sparkling into joy. My story. So I'm going to continue to share this, but when you see these photos, some of the photos are before my transitioning, some shows a part of my transitioning. There is a part before we watch this video, because I'm gonna play it. It's a very short video. It's even less than 1 minute. But you see me. Some of the things that brings me joy is making sure I can swim topless in a pool without putting on a top. And also, this is the time in blue. I don't know if you can see when I started taking my tea, the first day I took my testosterone shot. And then here in white, and was whereby I look like I'm in a hospital, was the first time I went to see the doctor in red there. And then you can see here how hard it was for me to even look myself in the mirror. I always felt something wasn't okay, especially before my top surgery. I know you can tell the difference in the joy in my face. Now, the day I got my top surgery, that is these photos down. Those were the photos after getting my top surgery, and I'm in recovery. Now, that all time had not gotten a chance to look at my chest. And this is a video I want to share. Yes, so that, how can I explain this? But the day I looked at myself in the mirror and I had a flat chest, like I cried. You know, I couldn't explain it. This was the time like I dreamt of for a long time. Now, knowing that it is no longer a dream, because I dreamt about it so many times. No longer a dream, it is happening. No, no one could ever like turn back my joy. Like nothing can even like come right there to oh, that can make me annoyed or anything. It was amazing. It was great. And I know any trans person can relate to this. You know, the first time you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, hey, oh, all right. These are some of the other photos that I'm sharing. I know you can see. This was when I had, still had my drains in. I actually had 4 drains. And this is the time where, at some point I was like, what is going on? you know, where people, you can sometimes think about ending your life, think that tomorrow doesn't come. When will tomorrow come? You know what I'm saying? And maybe to elaborate more about some of these photos down, is that trans people are joyful people, whether they have gotten top surgery or whether they haven't. They're joyful people. However, some of the things that affect their joy is being able to look in the mirror, and what they see does not align with who really they are. Now, it comes to Black trans joy, you know, I can speak to that. I can speak to the Black trans joy that despite being despite not having access to resources or being facing intersectionality of discrimination, it can lead to you not even being happy, because most of the community concentrate on what is happening. However, we know that joy is a revolutionary act, that you can respond to people who hate you, to people who discriminate you, to people who racially profile you with joy. The same way you can respond with hunger. The same way you can respond with war is the same way, or the same way you can respond with sadness is the same way you can respond with joy. And that blows their mind, because they are not ready to see you happy when they wanted you to not be happy. You can even wrap yourself into a gift. You get what I'm saying? That is the gift like you are seeing on the side. You can wrap yourself into a gift and let the world, you know, be and live your life authentically. Now, down here, these are some of the photos. Those were 5 months on T. Like, I couldn't help it. You know, every time you look yourself in the mirror and you look at your real self, like nothing is really coming or blocking you, you know, despite what is out there in the society. Now, there are few things that are importances of trans joy, and I just mentioned a few, but if you are out there, you can put some of these into the links, some things that I might not have mentioned, but a few things that I mentioned is the stress-free. I'm not trying to say that if you have trans joy, you don't have stress, but truth is 95% of trans people who have support, who feel joy within themselves, within their bodies, they live their lives stress-free. Your mind is full of tranquility. I talked about this. You sleep and you wake up and your entire body is excited, is all smiling. Your feet are smiling at you, your tummy is smiling at you, your chest is smiling at you. Your mind is just thinking about joy. You're full of tranquility everywhere, even in your blood vessels. It creates peace within. Within you, peace is created despite the level of massive killing that is going on around the world of Black trans people. And perhaps no one is talking about it. Like I said, many people feel depressed, many people feel that hunger within themselves. But trust me, what sparkles their healing is the fact that they are living their life authentically transgender. You know, we have countries where being trans, you know, is hard, and you can't actually live your life as a trans person. We have different countries out there. So if you can live as a trans person freely and represent yourself as a trans person, is an act of revolution, and it sparkles joy even within your own neighborhood and communities around you. Yeah. Yes. People who haven't even gotten their surgeries are living their life full of joy. Now, these are just part of my photos, right? Before transitioning and after transitioning, you can see the joy in my face. Now, how do we create joyful environments? Now, back to your, just type something in the comment that you haven't seen here. Now, to every trans person, connecting your trans experience to the present is some of the things that make you, as a reminder, we say a switch. Because every time I think about where I was 2 years ago or 4 years ago, I wasn't how I am right now. So the more years I get to live, the more experience I get to learn, the more time I get to live in my body, in my blackness, in my transness, is the more like I get to create more joyful memories, joyful love, joyful communities, and those around me tap into my joy, like it or not. Now, how do you create joyful environment for Black trans people or the entire trans community? Again, this is one of it. Creating platform for them to talk about joy, for them to talk about their experience. The Adebayo of 6 years ago is not the Adebayo of today. Perhaps I wouldn't have the power or the courage. I mean, I had the power, but I wasn't aware of it. Maybe I didn't have I didn't have the courage that I have to talk about joy right now. It is important to carve out spaces and time for Black trans joy. So if we create spaces, carve out those spaces within, not only within our environments, but also within ourselves, like on an individual level, as you as a person, and you carve out that, making sure, like always wanting to know about trans joy, always reaching out to trans people and say, yo, what about you, Joy, today? What made you happy today? Come on, tell me. You get what I'm saying? You are creating an environment for even you to have that, tap into those blessings of joy within the trans community. On a structural level is those moments where trans people don't have to wait 1 year, 2 years to have access to gender farming care, to have representation into those who make decisions about their lives. The journey of healing of depression and trauma, joy plays a fundamental role. If you agree with me, like write something that, that resonates with you when you hear this statement. The journey of healing of depression and trauma, joy plays a fundamental role. Now, if you are on your journey of healing, your journey of healing your trauma. For example, I'll give an example that growing up, I was, before coming to Canada, I was arrested and, undressed by the police in Uganda to check if I was a male or a female. And my phone was taken away. I was highly beaten. And that is a day that I can't get out of my heart. But I have the power. I have power over it because I'm living my life joyfully. I can talk about it joyfully. Now, today, I can talk about it with joy because despite being here, that situation was part of a reason why I'm here. It's part of the reason why you can even hear my voice right now. That, oh yeah, I'll resist this. I'm gonna be joyful. come rain, come shine. Despite what happened to me, it is not going to define my today. It's not going to define how I wake up and be happy and live my life, with no fear of being prosecuted because of my identity. Now, having supportive friends, now supportive friendship, supporting neighborhood. Are you really supporting to the trans community? Are you aware of the issues that are being faced by the trans joy? We have media, anyway, let me put it this way. We have seen media actually portraying having platforms of, trans people being murdered, the trans bills that are coming out in USA. They are also coming out here. By the way, there is a petition for folks to sign so that Canada can give asylum for trans and non-binary folks who are in USA to come to Canada. Please, I don't have it with me, but I can drop it in the chats like afterwards or share it with the host so you can sign the petition. I guess these are things media is portraying, but they are not portraying the internal joy trans people feel. The fact that we get to cook ourselves a meal and eat it and feed our community. These are things that media can't see or media can't portray. The fact that trans people are living and contributing to these societies, these are things media can't see, but we know within our community. So as a supportive friend, how do you bring this to light so that the misrepresentation of trans people being overrepresented when it comes to violence, when it comes to misogyny, when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to misgendering, when it comes to dead naming, when it comes to gender-based violence. Now you need to now start creating these spaces and preaching the gospel of trans joy, because it is part of the revolution. It is a revolutionary act, and it is part of one of the things that is going to liberate our community. People have to know that this power is going on, we are joyful, right? So the power of transitioning, that is what I meant. The power of transitioning, making sure trans people can transition, well, right, within their communities, right? They have access to whatever they need. Over an overview, it is an effort to hurt us, the community, whatever, the society, the system. They are doing this as an effort. So transness, so often being centered on injustice, it is all about the heartbreak and difficult and pain. I talked about this, but it is more than heartbreak, difficult, and pain. Transness is about joy. Transness is self-identity. And also, in a good way, transness is selfish. And I always tell people to be selfish, right? It is okay for you to be selfish. Be joyful. If people define your joy as selfish, let them define it as selfish. Who cares, right? As long as you're joyful, you wake up every day and you're happy. That is what matters. These are some of the photos here. First time on the sea, first time swimming, and the joy of me being in Canada, protected as a Canadian citizen. Some of the moments of structural trans joy is having equal representation in the healthcare system, representation of trans bodies, right? The anatomical body chairs. We walk into a healthcare system and we don't see bodies that look like us. Imagine now walking into a healthcare system and you have a child that look like your body. That sparkles trans joy, or the body you want to be. The ability. When I was putting together this, it really gave me so much joy. The ability to come out for many means. to come out as transgender, to tell the world I'm transgender, that ability sparkles trans joy. The ability to live in your truth, it sparkles trans joy. The ability to find a community that understands you, it sparkles trans joy. Now you need to build a community that understands trans people and celebrates trans joy. The ability to say no, to have the right to say no, the ability to have access to resources. I mentioned about this because media is a platform people use, often the time going to find news and stuff, and also search to find about trans people. So the quiet moments are not shown, but still, I don't care, I'm myself. Now, you have the ability to learn about trans joy. You also, even if you're not transgender, even if you're not Black trans, you have the ability to experience Black trans joy like you're experiencing it right now. You have the ability to learn about trans joy. That's the knowledge. The ability to learn different skills of how you can, crave and foster the joy trans people need to have. The competency, the training, and the growth. As I wind up, I want to talk about briefly some of the distractions of joy, and feel free to comment as well. Some of the distraction of trans joy, one of it is the desire to achieve social expectations. We have trans people who are still not, who are still want to achieve social expectations that, yeah, I'm transgender, but this is what it is, I really can't be happy, or my family wants me to be like this. So if you really want to be joyful, if you really want to live a life full of tranquility, you have to be selfish and only think about your life. Yes. You have to. Poverty. This is a very huge distraction of joy, trans joy, and joy in general. People are very poor. But hey, a reminder, poor people are happy people. Being poor doesn't mean you won't live your life happily. A reminder that let not this being a distraction. Family and community neglect. If you have a family, you don't belong, you're by yourself, like you are a loner. These are some of the things that can attract the mind of thinking negatively. And, it takes away your day, your time of being joy. Every hour I say to myself, I gotta be happy, I gotta be joyful. Those positive affirmations are important, especially during depression. Comparison of our entire future or our entire life. If I compare myself as a trans with a trans person, let me say who is masculine, or is a trans man, he has gone to the gym, his bodies look fit, or he has a big chest, his muscles are out, and you compare yourself to that. No. Don't compare yourself to that. Look at yourself in the mirror and love your body and love who you are. The fear of what will people say. Constantly thinking about the future, live for today. And then toxic friendship, taking them out, consuming too much negative and transphobic news. We need to turn off those TVs. We need to turn off those news. Yeah, also a little bit caring too much can, I believe, distract you from your joy. You don't have to really care about the entire world. That is a distraction. Yes, so care less, care a little bit less. Yes, trans joy, Black joy, brown joy are fundamental to the liberation of the community. And thank you so much. That was my presentation. I'll turn on my camera, right, and, share one last bit. Let's see if I have, oh yeah. You can see me now.
Yes, we can. It's so nice to see your face.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I mean, that was a simple presentation of trans joy. But I want to remind you that each and every one of us have the definition of what joy really is, you know. But in simple terms, you know, we have that decision and that right to live our lives in joyful moments, like wake up every day and say, I'm waking up today to be joyful, no matter what comes in the way. Like every day I affirm that, I'll affirm my day that is gonna be joyful. I'm gonna look myself in the mirror, remind myself of my story and my past and say, I've come a long way. Today I'm gonna live my life joyful as a trans person, as a Black trans person, or as a cis person in general. I think that is something that is being taken away from us. But being joyful is a form of revolution and is a form of saying no to oppression. It's another form of saying no to segregation. I'm saying no to racially being profiled by responding like a joyful person, because it is also another form of a revolution, you know, where you can respond with hunger, with fighting, respond with joy and let it sparkle their mind. Let them keep thinking, what is going on with this person? It's not supposed to be, I'm a friend, I've been misgendering this guy. I've been dead naming this person, but why is he continuous? Why is it being joyful? And it is always good. Starting your journey to joy means closing the door from people who have been having access to you and saying, no, these people are tapping into my energy and I'm being fed by these people. Let me first close this door. The next time I open it, they're just gonna be swimming in my joy. So they are either gonna drown in my joy, right? Or they're gonna be happy with me. So, I mean, I'll close that up and then I'll just open it up to questions. I'll close with that and open up to question. If there is any question, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you so much.